The New York Attorney General's office says it has uncovered evidence that the Trump Organization used fraudulent asset valuations to get loans and tax benefits. Attorney General Letitia James filed a court motion asking that former President Trump and his children, Ivanka and Donald Trump Jr., be forced to comply with subpoenas. State authorities have not determined whether to file a civil lawsuit with the new information. CBS News reporter Graham Cates has been following the investigation, and he joins me now with the latest. Graham, good to see you again. So I know you have been following all of the twists and turns. What is the very latest with the New York Attorney General's investigation into the former president?
Well, this filing was made in response to one that was made by the Trump Organization asking for subpoenas of the Trump children and Donald Trump to be quashed. And in response, the New York Attorney General said, not only do we obviously not want these subpoenas quashed, but here's why it's important to our investigation to hear from Donald Trump, from Ivanka Trump, and from Donald Trump Jr. And that office laid out what they basically described as a pattern of possible fraud. And they highlighted on property after property owned by the Trump Organization discrepancies in the way properties are valued when the company is going up for insurance or for loans, highlighting, for instance, one property in upstate New York where it ranged in value from $50 million up to $300 million. And they said Donald Trump and these two, and Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr. may have information that will help us get to the bottom of why these valuations swung so much.
Well, do we know specifically what Ivanka and Donald Trump Jr. could potentially shed light on for the Attorney General's investigation?
The filing highlighted a couple of things for Ivanka Trump, and it focused less on Ivanka and Donald Trump Jr. than it did on Donald Trump himself. But it noted that she had an apartment that they offered for her to purchase for $8 million, but the company had actually valued it for $25 million. And they also noted that she negotiated and secured financing for several Trump properties as recently as 2016 and 2017.
Well, Graham, have any members of the Trump family indicated they will cooperate on any level with the Attorney General's investigation?
At this point, they've indicated very strongly that they intend to fight pretty much every step of the way. At one point, Eric Trump did sit for a deposition, but that was after his own lengthy court battle in which he tried to fight the subpoena put against him. And now here we are, it's almost 2 years later, and essentially the rest of his family is fighting. In some ways, this is they're going even harder against Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, at this point, arguing that she has shown over the last few years that she has a political vendetta against former President Donald Trump.
So is that what we're hearing then from the former president's legal team, and does that suggest anything about their strategy?
Yes, I spoke with Donald Trump's personal attorney, Ronald Fischetti, yesterday, and he said this to me over the months repeatedly, that their opinion is that Letitia James is being political, that she's out to get Donald Trump, and that her own statements, whether while she's campaigning or in the media, represent that. And they also say she's kind of overplayed her hand because people who work in her office have been assigned to a parallel criminal investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and they worry that any depositions could end up being a part of that. And so they said they intend to fight this as far as they can because they think it's harassment.
So, Graham, you mentioned that parallel criminal investigation into the Trump Organization. What's the latest? What's happening there?
Right now, there's a grand jury that is looking at very, very similar allegations, as far as we know, about how the Trump Organization has valued properties. And so far, there's been charges against the CFO of the company, Alan Weisselberg, and against the company itself. But Donald Trump and Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr. Haven't been charged in this. But that said, their team remains concerned that cooperating in the civil investigation run by the Attorney General will lead to material from that investigation ending up as part of the criminal investigation. And that's kind of at the core of why they're saying we don't want to cooperate with Letitia James.
All right, to be continued. Graham Cates. Graham, as always, thank you.
Thank you.